Ripley, where you at? Good afternoon, fam. It's your girl, Miss Diva Trucker. I'm coming to you today. I made it to Dallas, and Ripley, come back up here. I made it to Dallas, Texas. So I'm waiting to get unloaded, but I wanted to come and talk to you all about the decision. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. Just give me a thumbs up or just tell me that you can hear me or whatever the case may be. I'm going to put my glasses on. I'm doing good, top speed. Greetings loud and clear. Okay. This is for independent operators. This is for hey, so I read the article. Yes, let me just go over the article from the Business Insider, okay? To get my CDL quick and fast in a hurry. Okay. Well, you might have to. They land people 700 people from Nissan in Mississippi, in Canton, Mississippi. Well, you got to be 21. In Canton, Mississippi, is getting ready to, get cut. They're about to lose their contracts. But anyway, I wanted to come and talk and go over what this means for independent contractors, people that are leasing trucks, okay? The Supreme Court just handed truck drivers a big win on an issue that has been plaguing the most vulnerable truck drivers, okay? We all talk about leases and things like that. And the one thing that attorneys don't like about the lease agreements that we all sign is because in the lease agreement, we can't just take them to court, okay? So if we have a dispute, if we have a problem, we have to mediate it. We have to go through arbitration, okay? That's in the contract. In most all leases, every time a lease driver reaches out to one of the attorneys, they had the attorneys there. If y'all was at the conference, the attorneys was at the conference, and the biggest thing that one of the attorneys was saying is when we sign those contracts as being a lease driver, it's like we waive all our rights for everything, especially for disputes or non-payment or whatever the case may be, loss of money or whatever the case may be. We can't take it to the Supreme Court. We can't take them to court. We have to go through arbitration, which is a third party, okay? And it's not beneficial for the independent contractor or the worker. It's always beneficial mostly to the employer, okay? So this is a major victory for independent contractors, and it comes with, so let me give you a little background on it. Oh my God, I hope I don't mess it up. Oh Lord, I would be the one to mess it up. Let me see. Okay, let me give you a little background on what's going on. I'm gonna read you this and then we'll talk about it after I read it to you, okay? Let's see. Contract truckers, also called owner operators, what we call them lease purchase operators, okay, independent contractors, scored a major victory, a major win in the Supreme Court Tuesday. In an opinion of 8-0, the nation's highest court ruled that Springfield, Missouri-based trucking company New Prime Inc. I don't know where they get the new from. They done changed their name. Now they New Prime Inc. But this couldn't have been to the biggest company, okay? Prime Inc. cannot force its employee owner operator Dominique to settle disputes through arbitration, okay? If y'all don't know who Dominique is, Dominique was a independent contractor. He was a person that leased his truck through Prime, right? And he said that he wasn't making money and he had issues with the wages and things that he was being paid. So he switched over to being a company driver, okay? And then he took Prime to court, okay? This started over something that was so small and now it's ended up so big, okay? So instead of settling with Dominique on the issues that he had about his truck and his pay and things like that, Prime decided they wasn't going to give him anything. He went and got an attorney and they sued. Okay, so not a lot of times, so something so small could have been resolved, but no, they chose to fight it. And when they fought it went to the Supreme Court. Okay, so they spent a lot of money to do this. Okay, so settling disputes through arbitration rather than in court is usually more beneficial to the employers and not to the employees. Okay, so if we as lease drivers sign contracts saying that we won't take the companies to court, we will settle with them through arbitration. A lot of times we're not going to get what we think that we're owed. Okay, contract truckers scored a major win Tuesday when the Supreme Court sided with them on an employment law issue. This is what we've been talking about, employment law. So many people in the trucking industry want to label their employees as independent contractors because, one, they don't want to pay employment tax. Two, they don't want to have the responsibility of taking federal, Social Security, Medicare, state tax out of your check. Also, they have to turn that money in quarterly. They have to keep the paperwork. And so they rather you call yourself an independent contractor, pay all the expenses on the truck, and then they give you a 1099, and then you file, and then you do your own taxes and things like that. Okay, so the best way is for people to be employees. But if you're an independent contractor and they tell you when you gotta that you gotta run, or you gotta take a load, or you can't take off, and some of the things that they do as an employee, it will classify you as an employee and not an independent contractor. And the line is very blurred when it comes to independent lease drivers. Okay, not so much if you own your own truck and you lease it on to them. That's another thing too. If you own your truck and you lease it on to them, you should be able to run anybody freight, but they don't let you run anybody freight. Okay, if you know some fleets that are leased on to some of the companies, they just make you run their freight. You can't go run anybody else freight that you want to. And that, as an independent contractor, you should be able to run anybody's freight. Okay, the only way you could be able to do that is if you got your own authority. Okay, if you got your own authority, you can run whoever freight that you want to. But being an independent contractor, you should be able to run whoever freight you want to. You should be able to run whoever trailers you want to, but not in the trucking industry. All right. In opinion of 8-0, the nation's highest court ruled that Springfield, Missouri based trucking company. Let me turn the windows. It's kind of hot. It's hot. Nation's highest court ruled that Springfield, Missouri based trucking company New Prime Inc. cannot force its employee owner operator Dominique to settle disputes through arbitration. Dominique contract says all disputes need to be settled through private arbitration, and the Federal Arbitration Act requires courts to enforce those arbitration agreements, even though many scholars may say arbitration benefit the company while harming workers. But the arbitration law has a major loophole. Transportation workers are excluded from the arbitration law. Let's see. Dominique was labeled as a contract driver with New Prime. I don't know why they keep calling it New Prime. Did they change their name or something? These contract drivers are more commonly called owner operators in the trucking world, and they total 350,000 people, drivers nationwide. The conflict between Dominique and Prime started when Dominique sued New Prime in a class action suit for not paying minimum wage. Okay, as Associate Justice Neal wrote, in his opinion, emphasis added in the class action lawsuit in federal court. Dominique argued that New Prime denies its drivers lawful wages. The company may call its drivers independent contractors, but Dominique alleged in reality, New Prime treats them as employees and fail to pay the statutory due minimum wage. In response to Mr. Dominique's complaint, New Prime asked the court to invoke its statutory authority under the act and compel arbitration according to the terms found in the parties' agreement. Okay, Prime wanted it to go back to arbitration. Okay, the ruling is a win for drivers as well as independent workers nationwide. So not only does this ruling affect Prime Inc., but it affects everybody that is independent contractors and lease drivers at the company. So what's going to happen is that they're going to wait and see what the outcome of this lawsuit is going to be, and I promise you, if it's in favor of the drivers, there are going to be many more to come. Attorneys are just waiting. Okay, there are going to be so many more to come. The ruling is a win for drivers as well as independent. Did I read that already? In case right. Okay. Independent workers nationwide, because it allows them to settle disputes in court. Private arbitration usually prevents the worker from publicly releasing details of the case. So if you go to arbitration privately, you can't never tell what happened. Let me tell you, I sued AT&T, okay? And my biggest thing, I sued them for employment law. And you can't take AT&T to court because I have to go to a mediator. I have to arbitrate. I just can't take them to the court. So what I did was I appealed it and got what is called a right to sue. So once they gave me that right to sue, I was able to take them to court, and I took them to court and I won my case. But this takes time. This doesn't happen overnight. It takes a couple of years. And then when you do it as a class action, when you do it as a class action, that means all the drivers get paid. Okay. Let's see. Considering the continuing efforts of mega carriers to thwart the rights of drivers, the decision is an important one for protecting the rights of interstate drivers to have their claims heard publicly and in a collective fashion. Justin, an employment law attorney who often represents truck drivers, told Business Insider. Let's see. Additionally, it pushes the boundaries on a question that has been plaguing Americans' courts in recent years: whether truck drivers deserve minimum wage for non-driving duties. Or Dominique class action case alleged that he and his colleagues, that's everybody at Prime, were deprived of fair wages. A federal court in Arkansas decided in a class action suit in October 2018 that drivers should be paid for every hour truckers spend in their trucks while not sleeping. 16 hours a day at least of the 16 hours a day of at least minimum wage pay. It's a move that speaks to other court cases appearing around the country in favor of ensuring truck drivers are paid every hour they spend on the road. Okay, this is massive, y'all. In 2017, a Nebraska court decided that trucking giant Warner Enterprise must pay $780,000 to 52,000 student truck drivers after being accused of pay practice violations. Another major carrier, CR England, paid $2.35 million in back wages to more than 6,000 drivers in 2016. I remember that. I was 2 years in the game then. But yeah, y'all, this is big. Either they're going to have to do something finally with independent contractors, that us going home without no pay, or we in the hole, we owing the company money, all that kind of stuff. Now, these cases will not be able to be private. They won't be able to be held behind closed doors. They won't be able to be just closed and you can't talk about it, because a lot of times, even if you do go to private arbitration and you do win the case, okay, the article is in Business Insider. You can find it on Business Insider. But 8-0, that, and they don't have no appeals. They can't even appeal that. It's at the highest level. So they've been dealing with this for a while now. So they still got some more time to go. So this may be a record for Prime, and it will set precedents for all the other carriers on how they treat their lease purchase drivers, their independent contractors. Okay, so it's going to bring, I think that this will bring more open discussion about I may have to move, but this will bring more open discussion about how you restrict the drivers as an independent contractor. Are they independent contractors? Can I go and pull anybody freight that I want to? Like, if LTI don't have a load for me, shouldn't I, as an independent contractor, be able to pull somebody else's load? Like, should I be able to find my own load? Another thing is, too, with these leases, with the leases that we have, with you leasing your truck, you can't take that truck anywhere. So it makes you more likely not to complete your lease, because if they starve you out, you're not getting your miles, you don't get along with your dispatcher, whatever the case may be, you are forced to either try to survive and make that payment, or you are forced to turn that lease in, and all the money that you paid on that lease is null and void. That just automatically goes to the company. You don't get anything back on that. And that is a way a lot of companies make money. They know that 90% of the people that have leases, 80 to 90% of the people that have lease purchase trucks won't complete their lease. So all that, and then not only that, will release you a truck with the same value that they leased it before, and then all that money that person paid in for that truck is now gone, and now you take over a payment paying the same amount for the same amount of years. So I hope that it's a change for the better, so that it is more even field, so that let me see, so that it is more even field. Y'all, I can't focus. I don't know how to do these comments, but I'm just not the one when it comes to let me see. If you were to go into this, I would go independent contractor. It's a choice, but if everything works out okay, then you don't have a problem. But a lot of time people invest so much money in their trucks, and they lose them for simple things. I've seen so many people that have lost a leased truck that has paid 4 years on a truck and only had 1 year left, and something happened and all their money is gone, and they have to come back and start all over again. So 4 years out of all this time, I don't know if I need to. Let me help this person, because they act like they can't see, or whatever the case may be. Come on. Come on. My goodness. Let me see if I can back up a little bit. Hold on, y'all. My goodness gracious. Now you got plenty of room. Okay. But now it's different if you got your authority, because you can run whoever freight you want, you can run it whenever you want to. So those are truly people that's independent. Lord have mercy. Is he still looking at the truck? That's a female. Boy, I tell you. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to come and update y'all with that. What else is going on? I saw some other things that are going on. Let me see. Child, you got all that space. I don't know what the problem is, why you can't back up. Jesus. But yeah, other than that, y'all, I had some other things. Is you still trying? At least she got out and looked. Come on, baby. Goodness gracious. Back up the truck. Jesus. My Lord have mercy. Goodness gracious. No, it's a she. One, they got the door open, got out and look. At least they got out and look, got the door open. I moved back. Jesus. But other than that, y'all, that's it. I had something else that I was gonna tell y'all, but I forgot. I just saw that and I was like, that is going to be a game changer, and we just got to sit back and wait and see how it all plays out. But it could be that they start paying well, we wouldn't be called independent contractors. They're gonna have to do something. I don't know if they're gonna put us all on W-2s or what, but it would be nice if you can get a truck from a company, and if they don't have lows, or if they if you're not making any money or whatever the case may be, you should be able to pay a fee or whatever to be able to go run somewhere where you can make some money. And then, because at the end of the day, all you trying to do is pay your truck off, right? So long as you getting the money to them to pay your truck off, everything should be, fine. But, if they lease you a truck, if they give you a truck with no credit check, no down payment, nothing like that, then they expect for you to stay at that company, whether it's good or bad. So other than that, y'all, is y'all about the what else I was gonna tell you about the government shutdown. Y'all know that today is like the 27th day the government has been shut down, and January the 18th, because everybody was worried about if they was gonna get their SNAP benefits, their food stamps, and all that kind of stuff, and what was going to happen, and it started to cause a panic. So what they did was they found a loophole in whatever the government contract is. They found a loophole when it came to the food stamp benefits. So on the 18th, they approved that everybody is going to get their food stamps early, and it will be loaded on their account on the 19th. But the problem is they only have till February to fund. After February, there's no more money left. So the only other thing that can be done is, they got their food stamps this week. So don't go out there buying everything that you need to buy. This is a time to, save and make sure that you have food for your kids. If it's for February, save that money. Don't be out there trying to sell them stamps and get you some extra money, because you don't know how long this government shutdown is going to be. And eventually, you think that it's only affecting government workers right now. It's going to trickle down to everybody eventually, because what's going to happen is the government is these government employees. How long do you think that they are going to show up to work without getting paid? I don't care what kind of employee you are, okay? You will stay down for a minute, okay? You will be down for a minute for the calls or whatever the case may be. But after a while, when them funds start running short, okay, you're going to be looking for something else to do. And right now, y'all don't understand that it could affect the trucking and the transportation industry, because who are the ones that are checking the loads, everything that's coming in by air, everything that comes in by boat, everything that comes in by rail? The people that check those loads, customs and all that kind of stuff, those are government employees, okay? And if they're not getting paid, it's going to slow down freight going in and out the country, okay? Because people are going to show up, as long as they can. But if it starts to affect them where they can't pay their bills and they can't get, gas or fuel or whatever the case may be to go to work, then they're going to be looking for other jobs. So it's going to start to trickle to everybody, not just, people that are on the system or people that work for the government. Even right now, the people at the TSA, they don't even want to show up. They've been calling in to work for sick. And also they signed a thing saying that they will get back pay. But 80%, 70 to 80% of people in America is living check to check anyway. You know what I'm saying? So now 3 weeks, we almost a month. And I was watching a video of a press conference that the president did, and it's like, this man is so adamant on this wall. And then he don't know the numbers of what it's going to cost. First it was like 7, now it's 5. He wants to have that wall. They was trying to sit up there and tell him that there's other ways that we could protect our borders and that we can use to protect the borders. But he was like, no, I want this wall. I need to have this wall. And it's like, oh my God. So, and he has no end to it. But what's going to happen is, you don't have food and stuff and benefits for these people. What do you expect them to do? You're going to be on the road. People going to start breaking their houses. Crime going to go up. Unemployment going to go up. So it's going to be a trickle effect. It's not just going to affect the government workers and the people that's on assistance. It's going to affect the everyday working person, everywhere. So, I don't know. I just hope that they find a resolution to it soon. Where my glasses at? They will go. Let me see. That is why they voted for him. And he's just real stubborn. They coming up with all kinds of things. And then he was saying that he's not even going to present a bill to pass or whatever, because he knows that the Democrats are not going to pass it. I'm trying to figure out why all the TSA don't just call out. If TSA call out, who's going to be checking the people that's coming in the country from outside the country? Who's going to be checking all the products that is coming from out of the country over here to get delivered to us? Who's going to be checking the products that we have in America that is being shipped to other countries? Those are government people down there at the ports and customs and all that kind of stuff. Those are people that work for the government. Eventually, 3 weeks, eventually there are going to be some people trying to look for other jobs. I'm not paying for that wall. I didn't ask for. And then another thing, don't think this. Okay, so if they can't get the money, guess what? If you owe any taxes, Okay, expect a letter in the mail. I'm telling you, they did this the last time the government shut down, and they went after every taxpayer that owed money. And they was trying to get it by any means necessary. So if you owe any back taxes or anything like that, expect a letter. You're going to start getting letter after letter after letter. They're going to start doing liens. They're going to do all kinds of stuff to get the money to whatever it is that he's looking for. But one of the things that they were saying that may happen, if the government is not funded by the end of February, the states may kick in to help out with the assistance and all that kind of stuff. But y'all, it's 27 days, and the IRS don't play. They told 90% of the IRS workers to go home until further notice. Okay, and then they called them back and told them, asked them to come back to work, but it's already 3 weeks that they haven't even start doing returns or anything like that. So now that all the time that they supposed to be working processing all this stuff, they got to catch up with that. And they say it's over like $1 billion worth of refunds that the government gives out within the first month of income tax season. So if that money is not given out, there's no money being spent back into the government, because 90 most of the money that people get with their refunds, they go out and buy stuff. They go buy cars, they go pay down their debt, they go and do all kinds of stuff and put that money back into the economy. So if you're not releasing these people refunds to get released back into the economy, that's a whole nother issue that you have. And then it may hit so hard that it will take um it may hit so hard that it may take a while to bounce back. But I don't know. Have y'all been feeling it in the trucking industry? Have y'all been sitting? Have y'all been not able to get loads? I know that let me see. And we can't even buy a wall for 5.7 billion. They have money to give it, but they have that money set aside for emergency purposes. It's just, I don't know. I mean, the way that they was in there arguing in front of the press, it was just ridiculous to see the highest person in the office sitting there going tat for tat, like, no, if you don't give me that piece of candy, I'm not giving you a piece of gum. It was just crazy. It was just crazy to see something like that. But other than that, y'all, that's it. But yeah, I just wanted to come. It's 32 minutes. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just made it down here to get unloaded and have enough money on. God, why not build it himself? He ain't using his own money to build no wall. And I don't even think it's about the money. I think it's just about the principle of the thing, of him saying that he was going to do that. So, he want to make it look like he fulfilled all the promises that that he said he was going to do. So, he's not going to budge. If he can't get that wall, he's going to be like a spoiled child that's throwing a tantrum, and he's just going to hold out. And if y'all, people can't eat or they ain't got no work. But I just hate that the American people and the people that work hard every day, that is not having a lot of, money put back, and they trying to feed their kids and stuff, and they being used as pawns. You playing with people's livelihood, and when people get desperate, they do desperate things. Now they have passed some rules and things that if you work for the government, the banks are supposed to be working with you on your loans. The bank is supposed to be working with you on this. The bank shouldn't have to The bank shouldn't have to work with you on anything. You should be able to get your check. But it's just not going to be just government workers. Y'all, this is going to trickle down to everybody. I don't care if you working, you ain't working. It's going to trickle down to everybody. We all going to pay for it. Not just government workers, not just people that's on assistance. We all going to pay for it. So I urge those that if you know anybody that, got their food stamps today and they wasn't supposed to get it until February, to be ration it out, because you don't know. You hate to panic and you hate to start a panic, but you just never know. You just never know what's going to happen. You always got to be prepared for any kind of emergency situation. What is it going to take? People start breaking in other folks' house to get what they need, such as a food and things that they need to have. This is not going to last too long. It's not, but it's just that it's a lot of innocent people that is becoming a victim to all of this. People that don't deserve it. People that are honest, people that are hardworking, people that are taking care of their families. They just don't deserve this. They don't deserve it at all. And to have to be put through something like this, it makes absolutely no sense. But other than that, y'all, I will talk to you all later. Peace, love, joy, and happiness. I will be keeping up with the case and try to give y'all updates as it come. But I just want to let you know that, for independent contractors, lease operators, this has been a big, huge win for independent contractors. Okay, so something's going to have to be done, and I can see the lawyers and attorneys and all them lining up right now trying to figure out what's going to happen. But other than that, y'all, peace, love, joy, and happiness. Y'all have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye.